Welcome to Learn English on Your Own, 30 minutes a day. Whether you've got the whole summer ahead of you or just a little extra time, we're going to show you how you can make real progress in your English learning without feeling overwhelmed. I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben. Today we're kicking things off by talking about how you can maximize just 30 minutes of study a day. It might sound like a small amount of time, but trust us, when you use it wisely, it can add up to huge improvements in your English skills.
That's right, Ben. Let's face it, life gets busy. Between work, school, and all your other responsibilities, finding time to study can feel impossible. But here's the good news. Dedicating just 30 minutes a day over the summer can lead to significant progress. It's all about consistency and smart planning.
Exactly. So Anna, let's break this down. What's the first thing someone should do to get started?
The first thing is to set a realistic goal. You don't need to aim for perfection, just focus on improvement. Think about what you want to achieve by the end of the summer. Do you want to improve your speaking skills? Or maybe you're looking to boost your vocabulary or grammar. The clearer your goal is, the easier it will be to plan your 30-minute sessions.
Great point. Setting a specific goal can really help you stay motivated. For example, you could aim to learn 100 new words or finish one English podcast episode each week, things that are easy to track. With a goal in mind, you'll know exactly what to focus on in your daily sessions.
And here's an important tip. Don't overcomplicate it. When you're learning a language, it's easy to feel like you need to learn everything at once. But by limiting yourself to just 30 minutes a day, you force yourself to focus on key skills. Over time, this will lead to better retention and less burnout.
That's such a great point. You don't have to be a perfectionist. Instead, concentrate on small, manageable chunks of time each day. For instance, focus on learning 5 new words per day or practicing one grammar rule. Little wins like this add up quickly.
Exactly. So, how should you divide up your 30 minutes? A good approach is to split the time between different language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. This way, you're getting a balanced practice and preventing any one area from being neglected.
I love that idea. You could start with 10 minutes of listening. Maybe you're listening to a podcast or watching a short video in English. After that, spend another 10 minutes on speaking, practicing out loud or repeating what you heard in the podcast. Finally, you could finish with 10 minutes of reading or writing to round out your session.
Perfect. And here's a tip for the speaking practice part. Don't be afraid to talk to yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but narrating your day in English, repeating phrases from your listening practice, or even talking about a topic you love can make a big difference. This helps build your fluency and boosts your confidence.
And let's not forget about building a routine. The key to success with just 30 minutes a day is consistency. Try to stick to a specific time each day, whether it's in the morning before work or during your lunch break. If you make English learning a part of your daily routine, it becomes easier to keep going.
Right. And don't be too hard on yourself if you miss a day. Life happens. The goal is to get back to it the next day and keep that momentum going. Consistency is key, but flexibility is important too.
Exactly, Anna. Keep it fun. If you're enjoying the process, you're much more likely to stick with it. Try mixing things up. Listen to English music, watch movies, or play language learning games. Find what excites you and keep your sessions interesting.
So true, Ben. Learning English should be enjoyable. To sum up, here's how to get started. Set a clear and achievable goal. Break your time into focused sessions and practice all language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Keep it consistent and, most importantly, have fun with it.
We'll dive into some specific activities and resources that will help you make the most of your 30 minutes each day.
We talked about setting realistic goals, sticking to a routine, and keeping things consistent. Now, let's get into the fun part. What to do in your 30-minute sessions. Today, we'll explore some effective resources and activities to help you make the most of that time.
Yes, exactly. One of the biggest challenges when studying on your own is knowing where to focus your energy. You could spend hours on the internet or looking through textbooks, but we want to help you use your 30 minutes wisely with the best resources and activities. So let's start with listening.
Listening is a fantastic way to improve your English, and it doesn't have to be boring. You can incorporate listening practice into your daily routine in so many fun ways. For example, try listening to English podcasts or audiobooks that match your level, You can find podcasts for beginners that are slow and clear, like the English We Speak or ESL Pod. These are great because they introduce new vocabulary and grammar while also helping you get used to natural speech.
Great suggestions, Anna. And here's a tip. Don't just listen passively. Try active listening. Pause the podcast or audiobook every few minutes and repeat what you heard. Or even better, try to predict what the speaker is going to say next. This helps with both your listening and speaking skills, and if you don't catch a word or phrase, don't stress. Just rewind and listen again.
That's a great idea, Ben. Active listening really helps you retain what you've learned. Now, moving on to another essential activity, reading. You don't need to dive into complex novels right away. Start with easier materials, like news websites, blogs, or graded readers. These are books specifically designed for learners, so they'll match your level and gradually increase in difficulty.
Exactly. And don't just read to understand the general idea. Make sure you're paying attention to the vocabulary and sentence structures. Highlight words you don't know, then look them up. After you understand them, try to use them in your own sentences. One great resource for easy-to-read news is News in Levels. It gives you daily news stories at 3 different levels so you can progress at your own pace.
I love News in Levels. It's such a great resource. Now, let's talk about speaking. If you're learning English on your own, you might not have many people to practice speaking with, but there are ways around that. First, don't be shy about speaking out loud to yourself. Even just talking about your day in English or repeating what you hear in a podcast will help you practice your pronunciation and build confidence.
And if you want to take your speaking to the next level, try language exchange apps like HelloTalk or Tandem. These apps connect you with native speakers who are learning your language so you can help each other. You can chat via text, voice, or even video call. It's a great way to practice speaking, and you can fit it into your 30-minute daily routine.
Yes, those apps are so helpful for finding conversation partners. Another option is shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to native speakers, then repeat exactly what they say, trying to match their speed and pronunciation. You can shadow news anchors, YouTubers, or even actors from movies and TV shows. This is great practice for getting your mouth used to speaking English more fluently.
Perfect. Now let's talk about writing. You don't need to spend hours writing essays, but writing for just 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. You could keep a journal in English, write short stories, or even participate in online forums like Reddit or language learning communities where you can write and receive feedback.
Writing is a great way to reinforce grammar and vocabulary. If you're feeling a bit stuck, try writing about something specific, like describing your favorite meal or explaining how to do something you know well. And don't forget to review your writing. If you make mistakes, don't get discouraged. Just take a moment to understand why you made the mistake and how you can avoid it next time.
And speaking of mistakes, one of my favorite writing tools is Grammarly. It's a browser extension that checks your grammar and suggests improvements. It's a helpful way to see where you might be making common mistakes, and it's great for getting real-time feedback.
Yes, Grammarly is a lifesaver. It's like having a grammar coach by your side. But just remember, while tools like this are helpful, they don't replace the need for practice. The more you write, the better you'll get.
So, to recap our resources and activities for 30-minute sessions. For listening, try podcasts and audiobooks, and practice actively listening. For reading, use graded readers and news websites. For speaking, talk to yourself, use language exchange apps, or practice shadowing. And for writing, keep a journal, write short pieces, and use tools like Grammarly to improve.
That's a solid plan. The key is to mix these activities up so you're always practicing different skills and keeping your sessions interesting. We'll talk about staying motivated and how to track your progress so you can keep up your momentum all summer long.
You're doing great, and we're here to help you keep that momentum going. Stick around because we've got more tips coming your way.
Welcome back to Learn English on Your Own, 30 minutes a day this summer. You've made it this far, and today we're diving into something just as important as the study sessions themselves, staying motivated and tracking your progress. It's easy to start strong, but keeping up the momentum can be a challenge, especially when you're learning on your own.
That's right, Anna. Motivation is key, and let's be honest, it's not always easy. Sometimes it feels like you're not seeing enough progress, or you might feel like skipping a session because life gets busy. But don't worry, we've got some great tips to keep you on track and to make sure your 30-minute sessions continue to pay off.
The first thing I want to emphasize is that it's completely normal to face ups and downs. Everyone goes through it. Some days you'll feel super motivated, and others, you might not want to study at all. But the key is consistency. Even when motivation is low, just show up for those 30 minutes. The act of doing something, no matter how small, keeps you moving forward.
And one great way to stay consistent is by setting up a study routine that works for you. Choose a specific time each day to study, whether it's in the morning, during your lunch break, or in the evening. Treat it like an appointment that you can't miss. When studying becomes part of your daily routine, you're more likely to stick with it.
Yes. And remember, it's important to celebrate small wins along the way. Don't wait until you've mastered the entire language to give yourself credit. Celebrate the little achievements. Maybe you learned 5 new words today, or you had a 2-minute conversation in English without hesitating. Recognizing these small victories can keep you motivated and remind you that you are making progress.
Another tip for staying motivated is to make learning fun by incorporating activities that you enjoy. For example, if you love music, listen to English songs and try to understand the lyrics. Or if you're a fan of movies or TV shows, watch them in English with subtitles. These activities won't feel like study, but they'll still help improve your listening and vocabulary.
Great point, Ben. And another way to stay motivated is by connecting with others. You don't have to study alone. Join online communities or language groups where you can share your progress, ask questions, and encourage others. You'll be surprised how much motivation you can get just from connecting with other learners who are on the same journey.
That's a fantastic suggestion. You can also try setting up challenges to keep things interesting. For example, set a goal to learn 10 new words a week, or speak in English for 5 minutes every day. Share these goals with a friend or a study partner and hold each other accountable. You'll be more likely to stick to your plan when you have a challenge to complete.
I love the idea of challenges. Now, let's talk about how to track your progress. Keeping track of how much you're improving can be incredibly motivating. One simple way to do this is by keeping a learning journal. At the end of each week, write down what you accomplished, whether that's new words you learned, grammar rules you practiced, or a speaking challenge you completed.
Yes, a learning journal is a great way to stay focused on your goals. You can also use apps or websites that track your progress. For example, language learning apps like Duolingo or Memrise let you see how many lessons you've completed or how many points you've earned. These visual reminders of your achievements can give you a real boost.
Absolutely. Another great way to track your progress is by taking monthly assessments. At the beginning of each month, take a short test or self-assessment of where you stand in your learning journey. You can test your listening, speaking, or even vocabulary skills. Then, at the end of the month, compare your results. You'll be amazed at how much you've improved.
That's a brilliant idea. It's all about reflecting on your progress so you can see how far you've come. Plus, when you look back at your learning journal or past assessments, you'll realize that even on the days when you didn't feel motivated, you were still making progress.
Exactly. So, to sum up, stay motivated by building a routine, celebrating small victories, and making learning fun. Find ways to connect with other learners, set challenges, and most importantly, track your progress. Even small steps forward mean you're moving in the right direction.
We'll wrap up everything we've covered and give you some final tips to keep you on track for the rest of the summer. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Learn English on Your Own, 30 minutes a day. This is our final segment, and we're excited to wrap up everything we've covered so far. So far, we've talked about how to set yourself up for success, how to use 30 minutes a day effectively, and how to stay motivated and track your progress. Today, we're going to give you some final tips to ensure you make the most out of the rest of your summer.
That's right, Anna. We've shared a lot of advice over the last few episodes, and now it's time to put it all together. You've learned how to structure your study time, where to find helpful resources, and how to stay motivated. So now, let's focus on a few key tips to make sure you finish the summer feeling proud of your progress.
First up, remember to keep things flexible. Yes, consistency is important, but it's also okay if some days don't go according to plan. Don't let one missed session derail your entire progress. Just pick up where you left off the next day. The important thing is to keep going and stay patient with yourself.
Absolutely. Flexibility is key. And if you feel like you're hitting a wall, don't be afraid to switch things up. Try different resources, change your study environment, or even experiment with new activities. If something feels like it's not working for you, try a new approach.
That's such a great point, Ben. If you've set a big goal, like improving your speaking fluency or learning 500 new words, break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. For example, set a weekly goal to learn 10 new words or practice speaking for 15 minutes every day. This will keep your goals achievable and give you something to celebrate every week.
Yes, mini goals are fantastic. They give you a sense of accomplishment, and they keep you focused. And when you reach those mini goals, take a moment to appreciate your hard work. Whether it's treating yourself to something small or just taking pride in what you've achieved, it's important to recognize your progress.
And of course, always keep the big picture in mind. Remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Even if you're only spending 30 minutes a day, over the course of a few months, those minutes add up to hours of practice, which will make a big difference in your skills. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your own personal progress.
Great advice, Anna. And one last tip. Make sure you're having fun throughout this process. The more enjoyable your learning experience, the more likely you are to stick with it. Whether it's watching your favorite English-speaking TV shows, reading books you're excited about, or chatting with friends in English, try to incorporate things that make you happy into your learning.
Exactly. When you have fun, it doesn't feel like work. And remember that learning English isn't just about grammar rules and vocabulary. It's about connecting with people, understanding different cultures, and enjoying the process.
And to wrap up, keep a steady routine, be flexible, set mini goals, celebrate your victories, and above all, have fun with it. You've got everything you need to succeed, and the progress will come.
That's right. We hope that with just 30 minutes a day, you can make huge strides in your English learning. Keep pushing yourself, stay consistent, and enjoy the journey. You're going to do great.
And remember, we're rooting for you. Thanks for listening to Learn English on Your Own, 30 minutes a day this summer. We hope you found these tips helpful, and we can't wait to hear about all the progress you make over the next few months.
Good luck and happy learning.
Take care and see you next time.